All right, we are back for another Live the Faith video this week. We're here again with Sean Dalton from the Augustine Institute. Speaking about men's spirituality and what is the greatest obstacle to a man in his spiritual walk?
I'd have to say pride. You know, it's the greatest of all the sins. Proverbs says pride goes before destruction, and we can actually read in Luke, the Gospel of Luke chapter 18, where Jesus is telling us a story of a Pharisee who's very prideful and self-righteous, and who talks about all the things that he does in terms of, you know, the works of the law. And then he compares himself to others, like the tax collectors, and he's just thanking God that he's not like them.
Right.
But what does the tax collector do? Lord God, have mercy on me, a sinner. And Jesus says this is the model, not the Pharisee.
Right.
This tax collector who had the humility to say, I'm broken, I've messed up, I need your mercy. And I think we have to come to that point of recognizing our own spiritual poverty and giving God permission to come into our life and to change us with His grace. And that's the antidote to
Right.
pride, is that humility.
Yep, and I think sometimes we read those stories about the Pharisees and we're just like, we kind of from afar bash them. But when you really think about the depths of that story, like how many times have we thought those thoughts at least, right, in our mind about, oh, well, that person, they really have some major sins going on. But me, you know, I've kind of got things together. So I think in the story, like, we should be able to relate to the Pharisee if we're honest with ourselves at times. And yes, of course, hopefully at times we also relate to to the tax collector and find ourselves more and more coming into that deep humility where we just understand we need God's grace at every moment of every day.
Right, and it's why the great saints frequently went to reconciliation, because they realized, I am so dependent upon God's mercy and grace. So,
right, and that's the first beatitude, right? Blessed are the poor in spirit. That's where it all begins.
Amen.
All right, we'll see you for another week with Sean Dalton next week. Thank you.